when today's pain becomes tomorrow's power. Have you ever felt like you were drowning in plain sight? Like you were carrying the weight of expectations, responsibilities, and challenges that seemed designed specifically to break you? I recently had the privilege of interviewing Jennifer Johnson, a remarkable force of nature whose insights have transformed how I view resilience and success. Jennifer isn't just another voice in the self development space. She's a revolutionary thinker who has helped thousands of people transform their darkest moments into their greatest strengths. Her uncanny ability to see the potential in pain has quite literally saved lives and rebuilt communities. What struck me most about our conversation wasn't just her accomplishments, but how she's redefined triumph through adversity. Today, I want to share what I learned from Jennifer, wisdom that might just change how you view your own struggles. Here's the truth that hit me like a thunderbolt during our talk. What feels like death today just might be your triumph tomorrow. Let that sink in for a moment. The very thing crushing you right now could be the foundation of your greatest victory. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success stories. Social media feeds us carefully curated highlights that make achievement look effortless. We double tap on someone's summit without witnessing their climb. We applaud the medal without acknowledging the bruises. And then inevitably, we wonder what's wrong with us when our own journey includes stumbles and scars. But Jennifer Johnson reminded me that real transformation happens in the trenches, in those moments when nobody's watching and everything hurts. Everything is temporary, she told me, with the kind of certainty that comes only from living through storms. The key is identifying what needs to be permanent in your life and working through it with intention. This isn't just motivational fluff. This is battle tested wisdom. Take Jen Tardy, a Black woman entrepreneur and investor whose story Jennifer shared with me. Jen navigated industries where representation was practically non existent. She faced bias as a founder and weathered the financial uncertainties that make entrepreneurship feel like walking a tightrope without a safety net. But instead of conforming to what others expected, she built her brand around authenticity. She became, in her words, fluent in the art of living a sweet life, not by ignoring hardship, but by transforming it. Today, Jen has built multiple successful businesses while advocating for diversity and inclusion. She's grown an engaged following, launched ventures across different sectors, and become a role model for aspiring Black women entrepreneurs by challenging traditional norms about who belongs at the table. Her journey wasn't about avoiding pain, it was about repurposing it. And that's the first lesson Jennifer Johnson impressed upon me. Triumph often grows from today's hardships. Every challenge, even those that feel insurmountable, can become the foundation of something extraordinary. But here's where most of us get stuck. We're so busy trying to escape our difficulties that we miss their transformative potential. We're so focused on getting through that, we forget about growing through. We treat our hardships like unwelcome visitors when they might actually be unexpected teachers. Jennifer shared another powerful story about Jennifer Bland, who rose from humble beginnings to become editor in chief at Hawaii Business Magazine, a position rarely occupied by women of color. What struck me about Jennifer Ablan's journey was a pivotal moment that could have ended everything. She narrowly avoided tragedy during 9/11's due only to chance circumstances, a moment that forever shaped her outlook on life. Imagine that. standing at the intersection of life and death, saved only by timing or fate or divine intervention. How does one move forward carrying both gratitude and survivor's guilt? How does one honor such a profound second chance? Instead of being paralyzed by the what ifs, she channeled that perspective into building deep networks within journalism. She embraced every learning opportunity available and persisted despite setbacks. She developed what Jennifer called a Rolodex of sources, not just contacts, but genuine relationships built on mutual respect. Most importantly, she refused to marry what looks good and instead focused on substance over style. That phrase, to marry what looks good, stopped me in my tracks during our interview. How often do we chase appearances rather than substance? How frequently do we pursue paths because they look impressive to others rather than fulfilling our own deepest purpose? We live in a culture obsessed with optics. We're taught to curate our lives for others' consumption rather than our own satisfaction. We pursue careers, relationships, and lifestyles that photograph well but feel hollow. This brings me to the second crucial insight from Jennifer Johnson. Define success on your own terms. Success isn't about appearances or following someone else's path. It comes when you decide what you want and pursue it relentlessly. Jennifer emphasized that true achievement isn't about helping people who wouldn't help you in return. It's about discernment, knowing where to invest your energy and when to protect it. The founder of Double Dog Vintage exemplifies this principle perfectly. This Black woman entrepreneur launched her business as part of her journey towards self sufficiency after facing personal hardships. Building traction as an independent reseller meant overcoming market saturation, but the real challenge was emotional, asking publicly for help after past experiences of being let down by others. Instead of giving up, she used transparency through social platforms like Instagram, connecting directly with customers who valued authentic storytelling alongside unique products. What began out of necessity blossomed because she refused to focus on appearances. She invested energy only where reciprocation existed among customers and community members alike. Today, Double Dog Vintage serves as a blueprint showing how vulnerability plus discernment can transform pain points into platforms uplifting entire communities, not just individuals. This leads me to the third and perhaps most powerful lesson from my conversation with Jennifer Johnson. Resilience is your superpower. Your story is not defined by how many times you've been knocked down, but by how many times you've gotten back up. Whether facing bias, family challenges, or professional setbacks, rising from adversity proves your strength and becomes a beacon for others walking similar paths. I'm reminded of something Jennifer said that gave me chills. The fire that tried to destroy you will become the light that guides someone else through their darkness. Think about that. Your worst moments, the ones you'd rather forget, might become the very testimony that helps another person hold on for one more day. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending hardship doesn't hurt. It's about recognizing that pain, properly processed, can become purpose. Jennifer Ablon's career milestones are marked by courage under pressure. From covering Wall Street giants at Reuters to leading Hawaii Business Magazine, she demonstrates that perseverance amid chaos can lead not just to survival, but to industry shaping influence. Her story reminds us that adversity, even near tragedy, can catalyze long term leadership when paired with clarity about what matters most. But here's the uncomfortable truth Jennifer Johnson didn't shy away from. Resilience requires boundaries. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot serve from a place of depletion. And you absolutely cannot rise if you're constantly allowing others to push you down. This isn't selfish, it's strategic. The women in these stories didn't succeed despite setting boundaries, they succeeded because of them. They recognized that discernment about where they invested their energy wasn't optional, it was essential. They understood that saying no to what drains you creates space to say yes to what fulfills you. I'm struck by how countercultural this message feels, especially for women, and particularly for Black women who've often been conditioned to be strong for everyone else while neglecting themselves. Jennifer Johnson's insights challenge this narrative head on. She reminds us that true strength isn't found in martyrdom, but in mindful choices about where we direct our precious energy. So, where does this leave us? At a crossroads. Today, I'm asking you to make a choice that might feel uncomfortable but could transform everything. I'm asking you to look at your pain differently, not as punishment, but as potential, not as a detour, but as the actual path. What if the very thing breaking your heart is preparing you for your greatest contribution? What if your struggles aren't random bad luck, but the precise training ground for your unique purpose? What if, as Jennifer Johnson suggests, everything is temporary, but what you learn can be permanent? I challenge you today. Identify one area in your life that feels overwhelming or even hopeless, and write down three specific ways you could transform this pain point into power. Not someday, but starting now. Then make a commitment to yourself. Decide which people and pursuits truly deserve your energy going forward. Commit never again to marry what looks good at the expense of what feels right. Choose yourself first, not out of selfishness, but because your greatest gift to the world is the fire that emerges when you honor your own truth. Remember this: the world doesn't need more people hiding their scars, it needs more people who have transformed their wounds into wisdom. It needs you, not despite your struggles, but because of how you've risen through them. Your resilience isn't just your survival story, it's your superpower, it's your legacy. And it might just be the light that helps someone else find their way home. Thank you